The freezing wind whipped through the quiet suburban street, rattling the bare branches like bones. A man in his early 30s, Daniel, stepped out of a taxi, his breath fogging in the icy air. He had returned home unannounced, eager to surprise his family after weeks away on business. But what he found on his front porch froze him to the core, literally. His elderly mother, Maria, was huddled in a thin coat on the steps, her hands trembling as she held his little daughter, Ava, wrapped in nothing more than a light sweater. Both of them were shivering violently, their lips pale, their eyes glazed with cold. "Mom. Ava. What on earth, why are you outside?" Daniel rushed forward, his heart pounding. Maria lifted her tired eyes. "Daniel, we have been out here for hours. Your wife, she locked us out." The words hit Daniel like a knife. His own wife, locking his mother and daughter outside in this bitter cold. He refused to believe it at first. There had to be some explanation. He quickly wrapped his jacket around Ava and pulled Maria into his arms, trying to shield them from the icy wind. But deep inside, anger boiled. Why would anyone do this, especially to family? Just then, the warm glow of the house lights through the window caught his attention. Inside, he could faintly see his wife, Rebecca, pacing across the living room, talking on her phone, her expression calm, as if nothing were wrong. Daniel's fists clenched. He banged on the door. "Rebecca. Open up. Now." The curtain shifted. For a split second, Rebecca's face appeared, her eyes locking with his. But instead of guilt or worry, her expression hardened. Then, the curtain dropped back in place. Maria whispered weakly. She said, "We were a burden." Daniel's jaw tightened. His daughter whimpered in his arms, and his mother's frail body leaned against him, growing weaker by the minute. He could no longer deny it. This was intentional. And yet, the bigger question twisted in his chest: why? Rebecca had always been cold at times, but this was cruelty beyond reason. He tried his keys, but the lock would not budge. Changed. His wife had locked him out of his own house. As snow began to fall, Daniel realized this was not just about a locked door. Something deeper, darker was going on inside his home. And he was about to find out what. But just as he turned to call the police, Ava whispered something that made his blood run cold. "Daddy. Mommy told me, she does not want us anymore." Daniel's grip on his daughter tightened as her words echoed in his ears. "She doesn't want us anymore." His pulse hammered. He looked down at Ava, her cheeks flushed from the cold, her small hands trembling. She was too young to invent such a statement. He pulled out his phone and dialed, but his mother touched his arm. "Daniel, please, do not make a scene. She will only blame me." Blame? The word struck him. Why would Rebecca blame his mother? The woman who had raised him, the grandmother who adored Ava. Through the frosted window, Daniel could see Rebecca still on the phone, now laughing softly with someone. The sight twisted his stomach. How could she laugh while her child and mother-in-law froze on the steps? His voice rose. "Rebecca. Open this door before something happens to them." The door cracked open, just an inch, and Rebecca's face appeared. Her perfect makeup, her cold smile, it sent a chill through him deeper than the winter air. "You should not have come home early, Daniel," she said flatly. He stared, stunned. "What is that supposed to mean? You left my mother and my daughter outside in freezing weather." Rebecca's eyes flickered, but she did not falter. "This house is not big enough for all of us. Your mother brings drama, and Ava, she slows me down. I need peace. I locked them out to teach you a lesson. Choose who you really want in this house." Daniel felt his knees weaken. The woman he had promised to build a life with was standing there, giving him an ultimatum between his wife and his family. Maria's frail voice cut through the tension. "Daniel, I told you she never liked me. I could endure it. But Ava, she is just a child. No child deserves this." Rebecca's lips curled into a smirk. "She will understand when she grows up. This world is cruel. Better she learns it now." Daniel's chest burned. He had never seen such heartlessness. "Rebecca, if you do not open this door right now, you will regret it." Her expression darkened. She slammed the door shut, locking it again. The sound of the bolt sliding into place echoed like a final insult. Daniel's anger erupted. He pounded the door with his fist. "Rebecca." But no response came. Only silence. He turned to his mother and daughter, who were now trembling harder than ever. His mother's lips were almost blue. Ava's eyelids drooped. They would not survive much longer out here. Daniel knew he had to act fast. He scooped Ava into his arms, wrapped his jacket tighter around her, and helped Maria stand. "We are leaving," he said firmly. "I will get you both safe. And then I am coming back for answers." As he led them toward the taxi still waiting at the curb, a sharp movement inside the house caught his eye. Through the upstairs window, he saw a shadow moving quickly, Rebecca, pacing with a suitcase. His gut twisted. Why was she packing? And then it hit him, she was not just locking them out. She was planning something far worse. Before Daniel could react, his phone buzzed with a message. He opened it. The words on the screen made his blood run cold. You should not have come home, Daniel. By morning, this house will not be yours. Daniel stared at the text message, his breath fogging in the cold night. By morning, this house will not be yours. He tucked Ava into his coat and guided Maria into the back of the taxi. Take them to the hospital, he told the driver, his voice trembling. I will pay whatever it takes, just hurry. Maria gripped his hand weakly. Daniel, do not fight her alone. There is something she does not want you to know. Her words gnawed at him. What secret could justify this cruelty? He kissed his mother's forehead and whispered, I will come back for you. Protect Ava. As the taxi sped away, Daniel turned back toward the house. The warm glow from the windows now felt sinister. His own home, suddenly a fortress keeping him out. He circled to the back. The sliding door was locked tight, but he could see Rebecca pacing inside, speaking on the phone again. Her voice was muffled, but one phrase slipped through the glass. Yes. He was not supposed to be here tonight. Everything will be ready by morning. Daniel's chest tightened. Everything will be ready. Ready for what? He crept closer, his breath shallow. For a moment, he saw her place the phone down and pull a folder from her purse. She flipped it open, papers, stamped with bold letters. He pressed his face against the glass, trying to read. Then it came into view, property transfer agreement. Daniel stumbled back, his heart racing. She was trying to take everything, his home, his assets, behind his back. But how? Before he could process it, the back door slid open. Rebecca stepped out, her coat draped over her shoulders, her eyes sharp. I warned you, Daniel, she said coldly. You ruined the timing. Now you are forcing me to be the villain. Daniel's voice shook with rage. You left my mother and my daughter in the freezing cold. You already became the villain. Rebecca tilted her head. You do not understand. You were supposed to sign those papers tomorrow. By then, I would have been gone. But you came back early. Gone. His chest ached. Rebecca, where were you planning to go? Her lips curled into a smile. Somewhere warmer. Somewhere with someone who values me. You, your mother, your child, you were holding me back. The words cut deeper than knives. Daniel felt the ground beneath him give way. So this is all about money. Rebecca's eyes gleamed. Money, freedom, and the life I actually deserve. For a moment, silence hung heavy in the icy air. Then she whispered, if you try to stop me, you will regret it. Daniel's fists trembled. You are not taking what is mine. And you will not destroy my family. Rebecca stepped closer, her breath visible in the cold. Daniel, you still have not figured it out, have you? This house, this life, it was never yours to begin with. His blood ran cold. What are you talking about? Rebecca's smirk widened. Ask your mother. She has been keeping secrets too. Before Daniel could reply, she slipped back inside and locked the door, leaving him frozen on the porch. And in that moment, Daniel realized, his fight was not only against his wife. A much bigger truth was buried in his own family. Daniel stood in the cold, Rebecca's words echoing in his mind. Ask your mother. She has been keeping secrets too. His heart pounded as the taxi's headlights reappeared at the end of the street. He ran toward it, desperate for answers. Inside, Maria was holding Ava close, whispering prayers. Daniel slid into the seat, his face pale. Mom, what did she mean? What secret? Maria's eyes filled with tears. For a long moment, she said nothing. Then, with a trembling breath, she spoke. Daniel, the truth is, this house is not yours. It is mine. I bought it years before you married Rebecca. I never told you because I wanted you to feel it was yours, to build your family here without burden. Daniel's mind spun. So Rebecca, she was trying to take it from you. Maria nodded slowly. She found the documents. She knew everything. That is why she resented me. I stood in the way of her plan. Daniel's stomach turned. All the coldness, the cruelty, it suddenly made sense. Rebecca had not only wanted him out of the way. She wanted to erase his mother completely, to take everything that was not even his to give. But Maria's hand gripped his. Daniel, do not let hatred consume you. Protect Ava. That is what matters. Her words steadied him. For the first time that night, Daniel saw with clarity, the house, the money, the papers, they were meaningless compared to his family's safety. The next morning, Daniel returned with the police. Rebecca was still inside, suitcase packed. When the officers presented the ownership documents, her composure cracked. This is my home too, she shouted. But the truth spoke louder. Maria's name was on every page. Rebecca's scheme collapsed in seconds. As she was escorted out, Rebecca's glare burned with bitterness. You will regret this, Daniel. You will regret choosing them over me. Daniel stood tall, Ava in his arms, Maria beside him. For the first time, he did not feel broken. He felt free. I regret nothing. Family is not a burden, it is everything. Rebecca's footsteps faded, swallowed by the cold air. The house behind them no longer felt like a battlefield. It was a home again. Daniel turned to his mother and whispered, I am sorry for not seeing sooner what she was. But I promise, from now on, you and Ava come first. Maria smiled faintly, her eyes moist. That is all a mother ever wanted to hear. As the sun rose, melting the frost from the steps where they had once shivered, Daniel realized something powerful. Love, loyalty, and truth had survived the coldest night. And in that moment, he knew the lesson he would carry forever. Possessions can be stolen, but family, when you protect it, becomes the greatest wealth of all.